listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We are so happy to have you here, and we've got a great show lined up for you. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and you're watching the Underdog Show. Our guest today is Cindy Wilcox, and we'll be bringing her out shortly. But as we are on the Underdog Show, I'm wondering, have you ever felt like an underdog in your own life? Have you ever felt like an underdog in your own home or maybe in your workplace, that no one's really listening to you? Has anyone ever said to you, are you listening? Hello, I'm talking. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I know that I've said that in my life, and I've had other people say that to me. So I spent a lot of time researching, getting educated, and learning the art of listening. And so as the listening mentor, I am offering a very powerful opportunity for you to attend my online seminar called The Power of Listening. This is 90 minutes with me, and it's the 16th of September. We will be offering 3 different opportunities. These are all Eastern time. So if you're in British summertime, add 5 hours to it, but 9:30 a.m., 1 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. What can you expect? You can expect that each time we have one of these seminars, we will be opening it up so that we can hear your stories. So the first 10 people today, this day, who book on the Eventbrite app, which I'm now streaming, you can go to my Instagram, which is Dr.Jacalyn on Instagram, and use the link in my bio. The first 10 people, we will do something with your story to make it special, a time when you weren't listened to. And we will also offer you complimentary one coaching session with me, the listening mentor. So again, go over to my bio, Dr. Jacalyn, and purchase your ticket to be part of the community. Going forward, we will have other experts joining me in future events, and you'll hear from people who will help you hone your communication skills and be a fantastic listener, have better quality of relationships, and have a happier life. Again, go over to Dr. Jacalyn on Instagram. All right, without further ado, let me bring out our guest, Cindy Wilcox. She is a serial entrepreneur, and this is not her first time on our program. She's been on a different program, but she's been on this platform. We loved her so much, we invited her back. She's also the author of Draw a Heart Around It, a revolutionary mental health treatment for individuals and companies. Welcome, Cindy, to the program. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having me. It's great to be back.
It's a pleasure. I really enjoyed meeting you the first time, as I mentioned, and I thought, there's so much more to share. We only have a certain amount of time, so it's great that you can come back and we can kind of drill down even more. So, Cindy, before we get into your specific background, I'd love to know what's happened for you since we last met. I don't know how many months ago it was, but any things have changed in your life since then?
Yeah, wow. There's been a lot going on just worldwide. I'm a registered nurse, so we continue to fight the battle of coronavirus, but it's really nice to see that the world's moving a bit more now. So that's been really great, so that we've kind of reconnected with friends and family. So that's been great. And obviously in my hometown, I live in Plymouth, and is big because we had a situation in the community that resulted in a community being really affected by an individual. So Plymouth has been all over the news worldwide because of what's been happening this week. So it's been a strange time, highs and lows really, but yeah.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with you. You did cut out a little bit there in the beginning, but I think we got the gist of it. It's not your fault. It's technology, right? We don't have any control over that. So, Cindy, I'd like to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, because we hear so much about it, especially here in the States. You know, everybody, not everybody, but many people want to be entrepreneurs. Many people want to go out on their own. I left corporate, went out on my own. And we know it's not an easy road, but it is one that has a lot of rewards. So when did you realize that you had this entrepreneurial spark inside of you? And what was the first step you took when you realized it?
So it's really interesting, my journey. So like I say, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered mental health nurse for 21 years now. I've been health and social care background for about 30. And I would say that I would have never have described myself as an entrepreneur, let alone a serial entrepreneur. And now I have 3 businesses and 3 successful businesses. And I think the thing for me is, I didn't actually realize that I was an entrepreneur until I was right in the thick of it. And I was surrounded by other people that had businesses. And I just suddenly had this light bulb moment where I realized that actually the skills that I had enabled me to create and develop really successful businesses. And so I've just continued down that path. So on one side, I have the kind of nursing element, and then on the other side, I have this entrepreneurial spirit where I'm just a creator and an innovator, and it's just what I love doing and what I'm good at. So I just started doing more of what I loved and less of what I didn't, and here I am.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And you touched on the fact that you realized you had certain areas of skills, certain expertise. Would you share with us what they were? What they are, actually.
I think for me, I've always been a really good listener. So it's really interesting to your session that you're kind of advertising there for people's opportunity. I think what started my journey was the ability to be able to really listen and really tune in and focus in on helping people. So I didn't really go into business to think about what I could get out of it. I went into business to think about what I could give out, and being a good listener, that was a really helpful skill in developing my business. So my businesses are in health and social care. So I have the first business I have is actually 7 years old this year, and it's a charitable business. So it's like it's a not-for-profit. So it's a social enterprise, and that was all about empowering the community. And I also have a nursing agency, and more recently I purchased a care home. So I think for me, it was about listening and really having a desire to give back and make things better that actually led me down the path of having 3 businesses.
Congratulations on that recent acquisition. That's amazing. So when you think about all of your experience and the fact that you're so much involved with charity and caring for others, the home care business, I would imagine, is a fairly challenging one. It doesn't come without its opportunities for growth. So what made you decide to go down that path?
I think some of the other work that I was doing in the businesses. So I've been really good at being able to kind of go into other businesses and analyze information, and where they've had inspections that have deemed them inadequate by the regulators, I've been able to put in an action plan and some support that's meant that they've been able to turn their business around and actually become outstanding. And that was really rewarding. And also part of me realizing that I had this skill in this area, and I just wanted to be able to provide people a really good place to live at the end of their life. And I know the formula. So that's what I did. So I bought a care home, and I've had it 6 months now. And the people that live there are very, very happy. And I just want to do more of that. So again, it was about giving back and kind of enabling them to live their best lives in their own home, because it's their home.
That is truly tremendous, especially during a pandemic. And I mean, people have been losing their businesses, right? And here you're acquiring, and one that's so important because it is life-changing to people. And I really applaud you for that. That's just, thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah. I was just going to say, I think my husband probably is like, what are you doing buying a care home in a pandemic? Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit, not specifically giving away what anyone said to you, but yes, we do as we grow businesses, as we get new businesses, people do have the opportunity to voice their opinions. I know for me, I have to say, I've picked up a few haters, which is surprising. People that I've known for a long time who, anyway, I'm not going to go into it, but how do you deal with that when you're being questioned, or people are saying, hey, don't you have enough on your plate? Aren't you doing enough already? Do you really need to do that? Whatever it is that people might say. How do you deal with it, Cindy?
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting, because I would actually mirror your experience there, Jacalyn, because I always say I love the lovers and I love the haters, because each of them gives me an experience that I've never had before. So I try and reframe it, to be honest with you. And as I said at the beginning, I've written a book, Draw a Heart Around It. I've written about some of my experiences in there, and I've got a senior career in the NHS. I work for Virgin Care. I've done lots of different things with my career, and I talk about some of those stories and experiences that I had. And I think what's really interesting is something to hold on to is remembering that you are good enough, you are enough, and there are people that will really love that, and there are people that won't love that so much. And everyone's opinion is valid, but you don't have to take it on board. And I think for me, one of the golden moments was me just realizing that I was just going to be me, regardless of what anyone else thought. I mean, I've been described as a risk taker. When I left my senior job in the NHS in the UK, someone said to me, wow, you've always been a risk taker. And I didn't really see myself as that. They obviously saw me as that, but I just thought that it was a really interesting comment to make. And I learned very quickly that, yes, I might have a different view. Yes, I might be quirky. Yes, I might not. I've always been described as someone ahead of my time. People have described me, oh, you've always been ahead of your time. And I never really knew what that meant. But now I do. And I love it. And I think that just learning to be you and accepting you is good enough. And just accepting that there are lovers, there are haters, but actually they will give you a valid experience.
Yeah, that's truly wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that perspective. We're going to take a break, but before we do, I want to ask you about the residents in the care home who obviously have been affected by so much, like all of us. But what have you found in speaking to them about this journey over the last 18 months and how they've weathered the storms per se, and what their look is on the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the people that live in residential care, in care homes, it's been a very challenging time. I also think it's been a very challenging time for people working in care homes, so carers and nurses, a whole range of professionals, to be honest, because it's also had implications for the people working there, and also the relatives of the people that live in the homes. So I think the biggest thing has been this separation, which has felt absolutely unbearable for some people. And since we've had our care home, we've just actually bought a minibus because I wanted to get people out, but I wanted to get people out into the community safely. So I bought this minibus. And I remember that first trip out, where the people living at our care home hadn't been out for 19 months. And, you know, it was so emotional. I was so overwhelmed. There were tears, there were laughter. It just signified something about the world moving on and them being able to kind of get their lives back. And it's been very special. And each week since, we've been out in the minibus. And I can tell you, yesterday, the driver turned up with a minibus. Big shout out to Sue, because she had a stampede of people running towards the bus, which was amazing to see. But I think that just signifies what it is. And I think, you know, this whole kind of separation, and we're not out of the woods yet, you know, everyone's being regularly tested still. You know, we do have to think about who can go where, and that sometimes can be frustrating for families who want to kind of pick their loved ones up, take them out in the car, take them home. It's just very difficult, because I have to think about everyone living and working in the house. And, you know, sometimes I have to make difficult decisions and say, well, no, we're not quite there yet. We can't do those things. So I think, you know, a big shout out to anyone that's kind of living, working, or has a relative or a loved one in a care home at the moment, because I think we're still traveling that journey. We're not quite there yet.
Oh, Cindy, I just envisioned the bus and the people running to get on the bus. That's so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
It was.
I would just start crying. I'm already tearing up thinking about it. That freedom, that sense of let me get out and explore and see what's going on. So God bless you for doing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty special. And we're saying, like, you know, we're on tour. So we're hoping to get a Facebook page. You might see some shots of us on tour.
We would love that. Please let me know when that happens. That's fantastic. We're going to take a break, and I'm wondering, I didn't ask you this before, but would you be able to read from your book when we come back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, fantastic.
I'd love to.
All right, thank you. Stay with us here. We'll be right back. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we have more with Cindy Wilcox.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAP partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAP partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck and my guest is Cindy Wilcox. In our first segment, we explored the fact that I'm having a listening seminar and also introduced Cindy, who has been quite busy during the pandemic. Cindy is a serial entrepreneur and the author of Draw a Heart Around It, a revolutionary mental health treatment for individuals and companies. And Cindy is now going to read from her book for us. So excited. Cindy, tell us where you're going to start and a little bit about the background.
So the book talks about the model of love leadership, and the model of love leadership focuses on conducting yourself as a leader of you and then of other people to live happy, healthy lives. So basically living your best life. So I started doing it by doing more of what I loved and less of what I don't. And the love aspect it's an acronym. So it stands for listen, own, voice, and empower. And the bit I'm going to read to you is just to connect in with your seminar, really, Jacalyn, and it's about listening. So I've taken a section of the book about listening. So listening to yourself and listening to other people are connected. And like anything else, it is something which can be done well when practiced. We're able to master listening. It's a powerful intervention and one that I place much value upon. Early experiences relate to babies crying to communicate their needs for survival, to determine what happens next. Adults get attuned to what the baby is trying to communicate and without the use of a single word. Babies are still trying to get their needs met, focusing on and understanding communications between people and wanting to fill a silence or jump into a gap in conversation with something you want to say, interpreting silence and the use of body language and the unspoken word to know what is being communicated is important. To actively listen is the most utilized skill I have practiced both in and out of my employment. It's also one which anyone can do with practice. Actively listening is empowering for self and others, especially when you're not using it to criticize yourself or blame yourself or others for failings. Everyone has an internal dialogue that they don't usually want to share with anyone else. Learning when to listen to this or when not to listen to this is vital. How many times have you been asked a question and responded with the expected response rather than one that comes from within? How many times have you heard that internal dialogue question your ability, your credibility, and your accuracy and the person you are? Have you ever heard your internal dialogue tell you that you aren't enough, that you're not good enough, and that people don't like you or don't want to hear what you have to say? Just think about that for a moment. Did it stop you from following your dreams? We all have built-in physical feelings which can be expressed and felt in our bodies, telling us a lot about ourselves and others. Some may describe this as intuition. Others may have experienced something traumatic, and some may have had a good understanding of where and how physical and mental health meets. How much attention do people pay to that ache or pain that's become apparent or returned once again? How we listen and how we respond can be shaped and used to create a powerful interaction.
I love it. Well done. Well done. You know, one thing that's comes to mind when I think about listening is many times we have our own agenda, and that prevents us from really being present and listening to what other people have to say.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree. Listening is an amazing thing, and to actively listen and be listened to is just so powerful.
That's a big part of why I don't have a script. Many people, they want to have an interview and they'll say, oh, can you send me the questions in advance? You know, can you no, actually, because I want to be totally present to what it is you're going to be discussing. And if I'm like looking at sheets, I can't do that. So what are your thoughts on that, Cindy?
I absolutely love it. I'm with you. I love it. Yeah.
Cindy, we have some photographs here, and I was wondering if you could just share with us what we're looking at.
Okay. So this is me having a branding shoot, and what's really interesting about this is that it's not really something that I would have ever done. And you know, as I've had businesses and more businesses, there's been this, you know, additional pressure to kind of have nice photographs and, you know, present yourself in a professional way. And I think this just signifies that there's a recognition from me that in order to have more impact, sometimes you've got to put yourself out there even more to have the greatest impact. And I think, you know, me having a branding shoot is this, because I wanted to, when I first set up my business, I wanted to hide in the background, and I wanted the business to be the business and have nothing to do with me. But I didn't mind being in the sideline, steering it and developing it and leading it. I just didn't want to be the face of it. And I think what I've realized in my years of businesses is that, yeah, like people do want to see me there. They want to see me present. And you know, that's what that signifies, really, me being there and very present.
Well, thank you for being transparent about that, because I have heard from, you know, we had a guest on earlier today who's doing amazing things and is sharing her experience, her journey through her voice, but yet doesn't want any attention. It's like, no, I don't want anyone. No, but you have to step up and claim it, because people are looking for inspiration and looking for leadership. And so even though we don't like having the spotlight on us, it has to take place for change to happen, right?
It's so true. And I can really resonate with your previous guest, because I absolutely did want to stay in the sideline and be behind the scenes directing things rather than in the front. But I think it's true. People want to feel inspired. They want to see the person behind the help. They want to see the person behind the business. And I think it's okay to do that. And I think when you feel comfortable with yourself, and you know, don't get me wrong, we all have a wobble. I still wobble. But you know, just be real and authentic, and it, you know, it takes you a long way. And people want to see that. They want to see you. They want to see me. They want to see, you know, the people at the center of it. So, you know.
Yes. And I think, and I'd love to hear what you think about this, but I think it also has to do with, you know, even with me, I'm always reading books. I'm going into Breakfast of Champions on Clubhouse, because I want to hear from people who are at another level that I have something to aspire to. But if they weren't a real person, if it was just a book or there were some phrases somewhere, a beautiful picture, that's not going to be able to help me go to the next level. I want to see there's an actual person behind all the branding and somebody that, maybe one day I'll get to ask a question of or meet in person and pick their brain. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the world is just full of great, amazing people, and, you see them everywhere. And, I feel very inspired by, lots of people, whether that's someone that I meet through the care home or someone that I meet on the agency or someone that I meet through charitable work, whatever it is. Every day of my life, I see people that inspire me. So, I feel very grateful for that. It's the people.
So out of all the things you've accomplished, including the purchase of the care home and the writing of your book and all your years at NHS, and you mentioned people, what would you say is the one thing that's the most significant that you're the proudest of?
It's actually a very personal thing. So I'm very proud of, bringing up my daughter and enabling her to be an absolutely amazing, inspirational, beautiful, intelligent person that, is living her best life and doing the things that she's wanting to do. And, I feel very proud that I've been able to help her along that journey and help her to make different choices to some of the choices that I've made in the past. So it's not about regretting choices or it being wrong, but it's about sharing that learning and being able to empower her to have different experiences. And from a personal sense, I feel very proud of that. So
I can understand that is a major accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you. She is amazing. I'm biased, but she is amazing.
Well, it's no wonder. Look at her mother. I'm sure your husband's amazing as well. Cindy, I'd love for you to share. There's some flyers, brochures behind you. I'd love you to walk us through a little bit about Artine, about your company, one of your companies.
Yeah. So I have the Artern, Enriching the Next Generation. So that was the first business I ever founded, and I didn't know what I was doing really. So I'd been in senior positions in other businesses, but anyone that set up a business will know that you suddenly become everything and you learn a whole lot of new skills. So Artern, Enriching the Next Generation was a made-up word, and it was about empowerment, and it was really about that, changing patterns of behavior, enriching the next generation to live their best life and achieve whatever it was they wanted to achieve. And I just met people at the place that they needed the help. So my experience of working in big organizations is quite often there's a lot of conversation about people struggling to get in to access help. So there's waiting lists and there's criteria, and people bounce around services and systems. And I'm not saying that to blame anyone or make it anyone's fault. What I'm trying to say is sometimes we put so much emphasis on what the system can do rather than what the person can do. And the thing I loved about Artern, Enriching the Next Generation, is we just met people at the place they arrived. So our first question is like, hello, how can I help you? And it could be that they didn't have enough money to eat that week, or it could be that they needed some mental health support, or it could be that they were having relationship difficulties, or it could be that their children have been taken into care, or a whole host of reasons. And we were able to create and develop responses to support people in the community and help communities thrive. And I love it. We've just provided people hot meals, nutritional food, non-perishable food, helped people with gas and electric, supported people that are feeling low in mood and suicidal and wanting to end their lives. People that have experienced bereavement, people that have experienced anxiety. So we're 7 years old this year, and I love that, and there are so many people that I've met along the way, and I know that they've got the benefit from our turn, and just seeing them for who they are.
Wow. I'm like, I continue to be blown away by you, because we're going to have you back again, because there's just more. But I'd love for our audience that you've earned and won so many awards. And one that really stands out is you've been listed in the UK Top 10 Nursing Times Florence Nightingale Nurse of the Year 2020 Award. And you've also been recognized in the top 5 influential women in business within Devon and Cornwall in 2018.
Yeah. Thank you.
How did you go out? How did you celebrate, Cindy?
Wow. Yeah. So like the nursing one was a real surprise. So I was nominated by my husband, and after initially kind of saying to him, "What on earth have you written?" when I got shortlisted, I saw what he wrote, and to read it back, I kind of thought he might have been a bit biased, but I read it back and I was like, well, yeah, I've done all that, and so the one that I felt really overwhelmed actually to be recognised in the UK top 10 for the Florence Nightingale Award during a pandemic. I was just like, wow. I just felt overwhelmed really. So I didn't win the top prize, and that there were some amazing people doing amazing things, and I was just here with my husband, just kind of quietly just celebrating it and taking it all in really.
Wow, it's truly incredible, and you are amazing. Cindy, I'm wondering, do you think that the residents in the care home will have an opportunity to see this?
I hope so, because I hope so. We could make that possible. We're always looking at getting creative ways of them, getting engaged with things. So yeah,
fantastic.
They can.
Yeah, so that would be amazing. And I thought it'd be a nice way to close out the show for you to speak directly to them and maybe give them some inspiration or tell them how you feel about them, and give them just sharing your love.
Oh, if I can do that without getting emotional. So, I just really feel very privileged to be part of their journey and want to make, the last years of their life as comfortable and as happy as it can ever get for them. So yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that we were able to have you here today. How can people purchase your book?
So the book is on Amazon. So you can get, like, I don't know if you can see, so you can get like the hard copy. But you can also get the e-copy. So it's on and I think there's a sample on Amazon at the moment. So if people wanted to download a sample, they could get a sample downloaded for free. But Amazon, just putting in "draw a heart" around it would bring it up. So just go to Amazon, click on
Amazon,
get the book.
Everything's there. Yeah. What would you like people to take away from reading your book, Draw a Heart Around It?
That we're here once, and this is your opportunity to live your best life and make every day the best it can be for you and other people around you. I'm on a mission to create a world where everyone can thrive. So help me.
I love it. I've met so many wonderful people in the UK that, they're all about helping other people. Like, that's their first priority, which is just so important. That's how I feel too. So I feel we've been connected again for a reason, and I'd love to have you back on. Before you go, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Remember, we have people watching and listening, so they can't see the banner if they're on Business Talk Radio.
Okay.
Oh, no, we can't hear you now. We still can't hear you. But Cindy's book is available on Amazon, and she's also on social media under her name, Cindy Wilcox. Are you back, Cindy? And that's CINDYWILL. Is it two L's? I can't see. WILLCOCKS. So sadly, we're not able to hear you, but we could hear you through the whole interview. So we're so glad that you were here, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Isn't she delightful? Somebody who is really about putting other people first. The fact that she purchased a care home during the pandemic and has a vehicle to take people out on tour. I'm getting all like, oh, amazing. So Cindy, I see you backstage. Please do take pictures, post them on social media. We'd love to have them posted here on the show. And again, come back and see us on another show because there's so much more to discuss. Our next show is the Business Talk Show with my co-host Alcini. And I just want to share with you that we are launching a new platform called the Talking Heads. And what is a talking head? It is someone who is the best in their field. So we're going to have talking heads in all different categories. Doesn't necessarily mean just business. So this platform is being rolled out September the 16th. And what you know now is a Better You. We are going to archive a Better You. We're hitting the 100th event broadcast this week. And Talking Heads will be taking its place. We will be coming to you from so many additional platforms, and we are interviewing people. We would love to hear from you if you think that you are one of the best coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, or let's say you want to come and talk about design. You're the best in designing. You're the best in electrical work. You're the best when it comes to teaching people how to fish. Okay, there's all kinds of opportunities. Just email me. And hopefully I have a banner for that. Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com. We will set up a 15-minute interview, and we will talk about what to expect on the platform. Now, that being said, A Better You continues until September the 14th. We'd love to have you come and present on A Better You before we transition to Talking Heads. This way, you don't have to audition as we go forward with the new platform. We see what type of presenter you are. We see if it's a good fit. So go to drjacalyn.com, which you see streaming here, book your session, and go to A Better You and sign up to be one of our presenters. We have 7 shows every week, and we'd love to have you on our team. So Cindy, hopefully we'll see you over on A Better You because you have so much to give to the world. All right. Thank you, everybody. Please join us again for the Business Talk Show, which I believe is in about, let me check it out. It's an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll see you then. And again, remember, draw a heart around it. You can go over to Amazon, Cindy Wilcox, and you can purchase her phenomenal book there. I'm going to leave us with a music video of the Debutantes, Paradise. This is Victoria and Lavinia. You can find them on Instagram, the Debutantes. Bye-bye.